And good afternoon. Welcome back to your afternoon 5-State Farm Report. Danielle Drotzman, your host here for 570 WNAX. Thanks for tuning in here today and joining us on this Thursday program. So, kicking off your program here today, we have a special guest with us. We're excited to get on Mike McCraine. He is the board chair of the US Soybean Export Council. So, Mike, thanks for joining us here today. And how are you doing today?
Well, I'm glad to be here, and I'm doing very well. Very, very busy this time of year between spraying soybeans for fungicides, and we're moving a lot of corn. So I guess it never ends on the farm.
Yeah, it does not, for sure. So, yeah, it's always a busy time as a farmer, and, it's the time, it's the busy time for the farmer, too. So, and I guess kicking off this interview, just talking about the crops, we got to ask, how's the crop doing back home, and how's things looking so far?
Well, our crops in this area look really good. We had some problems planting. Our area was had too much rain. And so, actually, most of it came last fall, so it was kind of a carryover. And then we had some of our ground we could not get planted. So, but what we did get planted looks really, really good. And we did have some rain. Actually, another blast of rain here, like I think about a week or so ago. The highest amount we had was like 5.1 inches, and I think the lowest area we had was like 3.5. So, plenty of moisture right now.
For sure. And I know, just so our listeners are aware, you're in the Claremont, South Dakota area, so that's kind of the area you're talking about. But we haven't really heard too much about disease because, most of the state has been pretty dry. But have you had any issues with disease or heard of any farmers having some issues there?
Well, in this area, we always seem to be plagued with white mold, and so we just treat every year for it. I see some of our beans had some bean leaf beetles in them. Some were heavy enough that we're treating them, and some we're waiting to see if we need to treat them. We don't like treating with insecticides if we don't have to.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I guess you are the board chair of the US Soybean Export Council, so I'm sure along with being a farmer, you are very busy with that as well. So I know the US Soybean Export Council focuses on a lot of international markets and expanding markets there. So, but USEC is just one player in that. So you often refer to you guys as the US Soy Family. So maybe just fill us in on who is a part of the US Soy Family.
Well, to begin with, the US Soy Export Council, that's what I belong to. And then I'm also a member of the United Soybean Board, and the acronym for that is USB. And then there's the other two entities, and they fall under the ASA, which stands for American Soybean Association, and then the WISH, which is the World Initiative for Health. Let me see, I got to remember this one. World Initiative for Soy in Health, or something to that effect. Mm-hmm. Anyway, there's basically four entities in the family.
Gotcha. And, for the soy farmers listening, you guys all work together and form that U.S. Soy Family. So I guess what do you guys kind of look like in action, and how does, all of your guys' teamwork kind of benefit our farmers?
Well, the ASA, which the American Soybean Association, is our political arm. They're responsible for everything that happens politically in Washington, D.C. The United Soybean Board is the entity that handles all the checkoff for the investments that go, whether it go for international markets, research and promotion, and then your WISH, they are the entity that does the markets that are emerging, the ones that where we think there might be a market. They go into those markets and try to establish contacts, see if that is going to be a country that maybe USEC might want to work in.
Gotcha. So you guys definitely do a lot together, and it's really important that you guys all work together for the U.S. soy farmer. And, I'm sure you are busy, going on some trips and getting in front of buyers too. So have you been on any recent trade trips here, and how did those go?
Well, I was on one to China, and then I did one to Japan and Philippines. That was the one that we did together. The one to China was one where we met with the World Bank of China. We met with a lot of customers in China. Went to all the big grain companies, whether it be Cargill, Bunge. We met with Dreyfus. We met with all the major ones. They kind of went over the things that they like to do with us, and we do a lot of work with even another company that's called COFCO in China. That's the government-owned company. So then also on a separate trade mission, I was in Japan, which we celebrated 70 years of being in the Japanese market. It's hard to believe that we've been in a country 70 years. Mm-hmm. And so we had a celebration, met with lots of customers. We actually have the majority of that market. And even when we don't, when things are rolling smooth and exports are going to China at a consistent pace, some of the meal that we don't ship direct to there, China buys soybeans from us, and then they process it, and they'll ship meal throughout the Pacific, out through the South Asia, and also Japan.
Gotcha. So a little bit of teamwork there. And, when you go on those trade trips, what are those customers kind of asking you about? What are they most interested in when it comes to U.S. soybeans?
Well, I think one of the biggest questions they always ask is, are you going to have a big crop? Are you going to have enough soybeans? And, of course, most of the time, with an exception of a few times that I've traveled, we always have plenty of soybeans to go around. And this year it looks like, even with some small areas where there's some moisture issues, we're going to have a really good soybean crop this year as well. So that's probably the number one question. Then the next question is they always want to talk about quality, and we can tout quality because we know from all the research and different things that we've done that we do have the best soybeans in the world when you put us up against Brazil.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Our farmers do definitely take a lot of care in putting out a quality product. And I guess as we kind of look into the rest of the summer, there's a SoyConnext coming up in August in Chicago. So I guess for our growers listening, what is SoyConnext?
SoyConnect is the largest event for USEC. What we do with that event is we bring in a lot of customers, the customers that we have right now, and then also customers that we're working with to try to switch them over from, say, for instance, Brazil to U.S. soy. We bring those all in, and this year it's going to be in Chicago. So that's usually we'll pick a spot that has easy access from anywhere in the world. Then what we also do is we bring in all the sellers, the big grain exporting companies, and we match those customers and potential customers up with all the sellers. So it's a good event that really puts the buyers and the sellers together. Then what we also do, either on the front end of that, is we'll bring trade teams in that will be from all over the world, and we showcase farms. I've had trade teams on my farm. They actually were from Thailand, and they're just fascinated with how efficient and the equipment we have in our farming practices. They always leave impressed.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely sounds like a great way to get our buyers and sellers together. And it just sounds like a great event, for the soybean farmers. So I guess with that, we're kind of coming up to the end of our time here. So anything to wrap up on, or just a message to leave with those Midwest soy farmers as we've kind of hit mid-July here?
Well, the biggest thing I always tell farmers is you've got to stay safe. Never, and we're all guilty of cutting corners when we get in a hurry, but try not to get in a hurry and try to farm safe.
Absolutely. All right, Mike, thank you for joining us here today and taking some time out of your busy schedule to talk with us here today. We always appreciate it. So have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. And again, thank you.
Thank you, Danielle.
Absolutely. All right. Again, that's Mike McCraine. He is the board chair of the US Soybean Export Council, joining us here today on the afternoon 5-State Farm Report. Well, with that, we'll take a quick break. We'll take a look at some weather, and then here at the bottom of the hour, we'll take a look at your markets. So stay tuned.